What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Victory Drive's Single Shot Series. This week, let's talk about the Sullivan's ban. There's been a lot of chit-chat within politics about assault weapons bans and the need to ban these quote-unquote weapons of war. This kind of starts back. President Joe Biden, he really ran on this notion. He's been talking about it for a long time, ever since ever. Actually, he's a fucking piece of shit politician that's talked about this and how he wants to take away assault weapons from the American people. So he ran on this idea for quite a while. He refers back to how he got done before with the 1994 assault weapons ban. That was failed. It was a failed policy. If you look back statistically, that ban back in 1994, it didn't really prove to be effective. So that's one reason, I guess. That's one thing. If you look back in statistics and stuff, it didn't really help with, like, the 90s was fraught with violence and gun violence anyway, and everything else. It was a really rough time, I guess, back then. Like, if you remember watching the movie The Crow, like, that was kind of a real good take on LA at the time. And so the Democrats back then, they really pushed an assault weapons ban, got it signed into law by Bill Clinton, and assault weapons, if you want to call them that, they were essentially banned for quite a long time. I think it was 10 years is what that assault weapons ban lasted for. And I think George Bush was in office, and then he just let it lapse, and they never re-signed a new assault weapons ban. They didn't re-sign it back into law or nothing. They just let it lapse and said, yeah, we're done, because the stats came out and they realized that it didn't do really anything, didn't do what they wanted it to do. So there was no reason to keep that assault on our freedoms, on our Second Amendment rights, alive. So they killed it, and it died, and we've been allowed to have quote unquote assault weapons, and for ever since then. And the Democrats and New Democrats now are constantly talking about how that we need to institute a new assault weapons ban. Joe Biden's been running on that since he decided to run for president, and he's been talking about that as when he's a senator and everything. So it's been in talks for quite a while, and with his recent decision to drop out of the presidential race, he's not going to chase re-election, I guess, and it seems like Kamala Harris, she's really picked up that torch and wants to run with it and continue on that policy of banning assault weapons and everything else. So, like, the biggest thing is the entire presidency of Joe Biden, he's talked about this. He's preached about it. He's been wanting to do this ever since he's got into office. And now it seems like Kamala Harris, she's running for president now on the Democrat side. And that's what she's running on the same thing. She's talked about it a couple of different times already in just her first couple of speeches as a new presidential candidate. I guess once she's properly anointed president by the Democrat Party, that's one thing she really wants to get past. First of all, the first problem with all of this is that these motherfuckers can't even define what an assault weapon is. You ask them, they talk, well, it's semi-automatic weapons with large magazine capacities and stuff like that. So it's like they don't really know what their definition of an assault weapon is, and also, so it's like kind of hard to ban something when they don't really know what the fuck it is in the first place. And we found that out with with the gun industry, God bless it. They're gonna, gun companies are gonna try to find ways around all of it, right? So there's actually a new gun out. I can't remember what it is. I think it's a SIG, but they made it like California compliant. It's basically an AR with a butt stock with no pistol grip and a smaller capacity magazine, but the upper receiver looks just like that. So it's like silly shit, really, really silly shit. And they're gonna, they're going to find ways around this quote unquote assault weapons ban in order to keep essentially the same product out there for sale. And I'm all about it because fuck them. They shouldn't be banning shit like that anyways. The same goes for like the pistol braces and stuff. Like a pistol brace is essentially a workaround for, to make certain weapons legal that you can legally use. So, you can't blame them for trying. They're just trying to innovate and come up with new ideas to, get weapons out there to law-abiding citizens that we should be allowed to have regardless. So with the assault weapons ban, it's one thing, it's fraught with ignorance because they don't even know what the fuck they're trying to ban, really. They just don't like AR-15s. But at the end of the day, it's not really about the AR-15 or an AK-47 or the quote-unquote assault weapons anyways. They know that it's a hot ticket item for the anti-gun lobby to get their support if they keep talking about this. And if they get it banned, they know that it's just a stepping stone. It's not really the end all be all. Like they're not gonna they're not even saying like, hey, let's ban ARs and AKs and then we'll be done. Like we just want these weapons banned because we feel like they're too dangerous for normal civilians to be having in their possession. So let's just ban those and then we'll be done. Like that's it. No more gun laws. We already passed. We want to keep everyone's rights intact. We just want the quote unquote assault weapons banned, and then we're going to be done. It's going to keep everybody safe, and everything's going to be honky dory. Well, they know that's bullshit. They know that there's killers are going to kill no matter what. They know that an assault weapons ban isn't going to stop the violence that they think it will stop. They know all of this because they can look back in 1994 and see that it didn't fucking work. They know that's just a stepping stone in the right direction to get Americans to sway in their way, I guess, to sway their way. So I've had these conversations with people that say that they are pro-gun as well, where they're like, well, do you really need that many rounds in a magazine? Do you really need 30 rounds in a magazine or more? Do you really need that? Do you really need an AR-15? Do you really need an AK-47? Do you really need an assault weapon? And I've had this conversation with people that claim to be pro-gun, and it blows my fucking mind every time I talk to them because it's like, do I need it? Like, okay, if we're talking about needs and wants here, the government shouldn't be legislating what we need or what we want. Yeah, it's the fact that we live in America and that we are a free country with free people. Like this is what this whole fucking country was founded on, was freedom. And, the right to pursue your right to pursue happiness, life, liberty, and happiness. It's like, it's not about needs and wants here. It's about the fact that we are Americans and we have rights. And that is one of those rights. The Second Amendment it's a pretty fucking important one. So it's not about needs and wants. And when the government starts legislating your needs and making what you think you need into wants or whatever else, and they're legislating against that, then we get into some really murky territory, because the government shouldn't be telling you what you need or what you can get, especially when it comes to guns in your rights. It's like saying, like, okay, do you really need to say the word fuck? Why don't we just make that illegal? Do you really need to say the word pussy? Do you really need to say the word faggot? Like, do you really need to say those mean words? They don't do anything but hurt people. Like, are you a good person? Do you want to hurt people? We should ban these words because they are mean. Like, could you imagine someone saying that and advocating to eliminate certain words from our vocabulary? Like, there's certain words that I don't like and I don't want to use. Okay, great. But I think people should be able to use them even if I don't fucking like them. It's called freedom. And freedom isn't always safe. It's just the way it is. Sometimes people wield the freedom that we have in America for evil. Sometimes that happens. But that's why we have fucking cops and other people out there to defend the evil from us, I guess. And it's not the politicians. It's not their job is to legislate and make sure that, the government is working for the people of the United States, not against them. They're not supposed to be working against us and trying to strip us of our rights. So that's what boils my fucking blood about this whole assault weapons ban, because they're using this terminology to assault weapons because they know that it sounds scary and that the American people will have these conversations and be like, oh, do you really need them? And having pro-gun, people that say they're pro-gun, it's kind of working on some. It's kind of working, where I'm having some of these conversations with people that claim to be pro-gun, and it boils my blood when they talk about like, well, do you really need it? Like, if it's going to save lives, then why are you so against it? If it's going to save lives, like, why not just cede on your stance on assault weapons? Because if it's going to save lives, then we should do it. We should entertain the thought and everything else. Like, no, we shouldn't. We shouldn't entertain the thought because it's a slippery slope. We all know that it's a stepping stone, and they're not going to stop there, because when the violence doesn't stop, they're not going to stop. And you have to look at these gun control lobby groups out there and realize kind of what they are doing. Like, how many people work for them, not just work for them and take a paycheck, but other people that are donating their time and working for them. And why are they doing that? Like, why would people donate their time and resources to these gun control groups? Because it gives them an identity. That's why. And that is fucking scary, kind of, when you have a large group of people that are dedicating their time and resources to anti-gun lobby groups, and for the sole reason that it gives them purpose. It gives them fulfillment. It makes them feel like they're doing something productive with their lives, finally, after living a life of complete squalor and being a complete fucking loser. They're like, oh, I found meaning finally. I found meaning in my life. I finally found meaning here. And that is advocating against rights, advocating against the rights of Americans. And that's my meaning now. And they're not going to give that up, dude. They're not going to fucking give that up. Whether we ban assault weapons, ban fucking long-range rifles, ban whatever else they want to ban next after quote-unquote assault weapons, they're not going to stop there because they have meaning now. Their life has meaning. So they're not going to stop. They're not going to give that up once they win. They're not going to. So that's one thing we have to really be conscious of, is that as pro-gun Americans, we cannot cede any territory on this issue, and we should be actively fighting to get more back from them. We should be actively attacking the NFA, actively attacking the, and when I say attacking, I don't mean physically harming people, okay, motherfuckers? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about we need to be attacking these anti-gun laws that are already out there in the world, and we need to be attacking to get our rights back. And why do I say that? Because my wrestling coach in high school, he had a really good quote where it's like, the best defense is a good offense. And they know that. That's why they're constantly on the offense and constantly attacking our Second Amendment rights, because they know that if we are in defense constantly, then we won't be on the offense. So we need to switch it up. We have a lot of good things going for us as pro-gun, as a pro-gun community. We have, the majority of Supreme Court justices right now they do understand the Second Amendment and they understand why it was written. So this is a good time for us to be pursuing lawsuits and legislation to regain some of our rights back from the federal government. And we really need to be doing that, I think, because we do have a lot of good footing to stand on right now. And soon enough, hopefully Kamala Harris gets beaten in the campaign and Trump gets back in office, and JD Vance sounds like he's fucking super pro-gun. So it's like we can have a lot of really good things going for us. We just need these fucking Republicans to not sit on their fucking thumbs and do something. They need to do something about it. And we need to support groups like the Firearms Policy Coalition and Gun Owners of America, and fuck even the NRA. Like, I know they've had a lot of shit, but it's like, a lot of shit, when it comes to embezzling money and all other shit. But it's like, we need to support these gun rights groups and be kind of becoming members, have our voice in these groups, and advocate within the groups that have, I guess, the power and capabilities to advocate for us, right? Unfortunately, in America too, it's like we are not really the land of individuals anymore. No one's going to listen to you if you are the only one talking about it. So you need to get with a group, a loud group. Like, my personal favorite is probably the FPC, the Firearms Policy Coalition. They're loud as fuck, and they are constantly going to work. They are printing out lawsuits left and right, trying to get our rights back, and it's pretty awesome to see. So you need to find. I just really think that as a pro-gun community out there, we need to kind of get behind some sort of pro-gun group and kind of throw our support on some of them in order to kind of take advantage of the situation, try to get some of our rights back. So that's kind of just my thoughts on these assault weapons bans. That all this talk about banning assault weapons and all this shit, it's absolute bullshit. It's absolute garbage. And these politicians really, in my opinion, they really need to have some repercussions to their actions. And I don't know if there's a way. There are pro-gun Democrats out there, like Joe Manchin, I think, might be more pro-gun. John Tester, I think, from Montana, he's fairly pro-gun, especially for a Democrat. Fucking RFK Jr., I think, is even somewhat pro-gun. And when I say pro-gun, I don't mean like me. I don't think they're as pro-gun as like people like me, but I think they are pretty pro-gun when you're looking in the sea of Democrats. I don't think Tester, Manchin, and RFK, I don't think they believe in banning a certain type of gun because they think it's bad. So that's at least a plus. So we need to really make these other Democrats realize that, because we need to figure out a way to bring Democrats back into being more moderate. That's what it kind of boils down to. And same with Republicans. Like, I'm really sick of the far left and far right on both sides. Like, the far reaches of each party absolutely fucking piss me off. We need to bring people back to the middle, because that's where I think a lot of people are actually at. I don't think that the majority of Americans are actually completely split down the middle. We need to figure out a way to talk to Democrats and for them to talk to us appropriately and get our message across. So maybe that means we need to stop treating them like villains, but it's kind of hard to at the same time because they are acting like fucking villains. So, I don't know what the right answer is. That's why I don't like talking about politics, and I just stick to, whenever I do talk politics, I just try to stick to gun rights, because I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers to the economic problems. I don't have all the answers to the fucking border problems. I don't have all the answers to all this other shit that's going on. I don't know about trannies, and I don't know how to do any of that. Like, that's not my cup of tea. My cup of tea is with guns and gun rights. And we need to figure out a way to get more moderate Democrats elected if they're going to be in Democrat areas, right? So it's like, this is one of those things. We need to find some common ground here and figure out a way to, to bring more, because I'm not really left or right or whatever else. I'm just pro-gun. Like, I'm not like a single issue voter, but if someone's anti-gun, I am not voting for them whatsoever, because the way I look at anti-gun politicians is they're actually anti-rights. And it's just the anti-gun thing is easy because there's for some reason, a lot of support behind stripping our gun rights away. So that's kind of fucking crazy, in my opinion, but it's easy for them. They know they're not going to get backlash, and they're going to actually get loud, joyous applause when they're giving these dumbass speeches. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking with that, is that we need to figure out a way to eliminate these anti-gun lobbies. And not, like I said, when I say eliminate, I don't mean fucking violently eliminate them. I mean, we need to combat them with good arguments, right? And we need to look back in history and why the Second Amendment was written in the first place. And I've talked about this a couple different times, but when you really go back in history and realize that when the Second Amendment was written, everyone had muzzleloaders and shit and muskets, right? That's what everyone had. Those were motherfucking weapons of war. We literally fought wars with muskets for hundreds of years. So it's like, it's kind of silly when they say we need to ban these weapons of war. And that back in when the Second Amendment was written, people only had muskets. Like, yeah, you're right. They did only have muskets. And those were weapons of war. They used them during wartime, motherfucker. So that's why I'm such a big advocate on keeping our gun rights, I guess, and stuff. And especially when it comes to assault weapons, because whether you want to call them weapons of war or an assault weapon or, fucking crazy, accurate, super fast firing, ultra violent child killing machine, then whatever you want to call them, whatever scary term you want to label these inanimate objects next, it doesn't matter, because when the Second Amendment was written, it was during a time of only muskets, but that's what we used for war, and we were allowed to have them. And the Second Amendment was written in order to preserve the right of the American people to defend themselves from enemies, foreign and domestic. No matter who it is, we have the right to defend ourselves. And when the Second Amendment was written, it wasn't talking about trying to preserve our rights to hunting. That's not what it was about. Technically, we don't have a constitutional right to hunt. That's why it can be legislated so strictly, and it should be, because people take advantage of hunting, and it needs to be legislated fairly strictly and state by state, and with scientists and biologists and all that stuff. So, but the Second Amendment wasn't written for hunting purposes. It wasn't written to protect our hunting weapons, our hunting guns. And that's what these fucking assholes talk about all the time. It's like, I'm not trying to take away your guns. No one hunts with an AR-15 anyways. So why do you need them? Like, because it wasn't written for a fucking hunting, dumbass. It was written to protect ourselves. And we need to be able to have the best weaponry available to us to protect ourselves sometimes. Sometimes when shit hits the fan, we need to know what the fuck we're doing. Because the whole point, the whole spirit of America is the fact that every American has the ability to get a gun, get trained, and become a militia member if we have to. Say fucking Russia and China invade America for some dumbass reason. Say that happens. Say the entire world decides to go against America. We should be able to quickly and handily grab our guns and defend our country tooth and nail with all of us. That's why it was written. It was written to defend ourselves and our country. All right, I'm not saying, like, will that probably happen? Probably not. Like, it's probably not going to be a Red Dawn situation where Russia airborne jumps into a fucking Colorado and we have to go Red Dawn their asses. That's probably not going to happen, but it could, motherfucker. It could happen. We've invaded lots of countries. We've invaded a lot of them. And other countries have invaded a lot of other countries. That's kind of the nature of the beast. We've been doing it since we could fight. Since, forever. We've always fought. It's just the way it is. It's kind of human nature. It's kind of nature in general, is to fucking fight with each other for some reason. And if people ever want to attack America, we need to have the resources available to us to make it the worst decision that they ever fucking made. And that, my friends, is the biggest reason why we need to be able to keep these weapons, because we need to be able to stay effective if shit ever does hit the fan. And, God forbid, we talk about this, like, a tyrannical government forming within our own country. No one wants civil war or another revolution. We don't want that. Nobody wants that shit to happen. If there was a big want for that, it would have happened when Trump almost got assassinated. That's when it probably would have happened. So we don't want that. Nobody wants that to happen. We want to do this civilly, respectfully, and safely. But at the same time, if shit ever does hit the fan, we need to be able to have these tools to defend ourselves. That's just the bottom line. It's not about needs, wants, and all this other shit. It's about the fact that we are Americans and we have rights. And sometimes those rights and those freedoms come at a cost. And that sometimes that cost is giving up a little bit of safety in order to preserve these rights. This is kind of what it boils down to. And if we allow the government to legislate our safety all the time, if we allow them to use public safety as a reason to pass shitty laws and to tell and to be able to tell us what to do, just look at COVID. How well did that fucking turn out? How well did all that shit turn out? Not very fucking well. And the government doesn't and shouldn't ever legislate morality when it comes to that kind of stuff, where it's like, make things illegal, like murder, rape, fucking burglary, all that other shit. Obviously that shit, all that stuff's illegal, right? But at the same time, we shouldn't allow them to be able to tell us what we can and cannot buy and what we do with our personal life. I don't care. I really don't care how many tragedies happen. And this is going to sound very heartless. I don't really care how many tragedies happen. Nothing can get so bad where it's going to be like, where I want to come out and say, yeah, you're right. It's time. We need to get rid of these guns because they are just too dangerous and we're not responsible enough to have them. If that day ever comes, fuck me, this country is fucked. At the end of the day, we need to be responsible human beings, responsible Americans, and we need to take responsibility for our own actions. And when there's bad people out there, they need to be dealt with. Every school shooter that's broken into a school and shot a bunch of kids up, that is absolutely fucking horrifically tragic. Absolutely horrifically tragic. Absolutely. They've all died. So if that's not deterrent enough to keep people from doing it, then I don't know what is, besides the fact that we need to be better at policing each other up, and society in general. Like, society in general seems like it's completely fucked. Like, we needed a turnaround in society because a lot of people are very confused out there and don't know what the fuck they're doing. So it's a societal issue. It's a multifaceted issue, and it's not one that can be legislated out of, I don't think. So it's a society issue. It's a mental health issue, if you want to say it that way, or whatever else. It's not a gun issue because guns have been part of this fucking country for 240 fucking 3 years. So it's like, it's not a gun issue. It's not. It's been around. The guns have been around forever, for a long, long time. Since the inception of this country, we've had civilians has been allowed to have guns. So it's definitely not a gun issue. It's a people issue. So that needs to be dealt with society, not with legislation. So that's the end of that little tangent. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I hope you guys enjoy all the other episodes. And I really do appreciate you guys' support. I've got some really big plans coming in the future for this podcast and for every one of you. I really try my best to put out, free content and everything else. But there's I have some good, like, pretty big plans coming in the future where I want to give more back. I want to be able to give everyone the most bang for their buck. And unfortunately for me, I don't have unlimited time. I don't have a huge trust fund to fall back on where I can just do this full time. I don't have any of that stuff. So I need to figure out ways to put out more content and stuff for you guys, and plus fighting the algorithms and shit like that. Fighting Meta and all these other dumb social media companies and stuff like that. It's really hard in the gun world because they're just very anti-gun. This is what it boils down to. My Instagram has been fucking shadow banned and flagged and everything else for a long time. So I think there's gonna be a lot of changes coming, but I think they're good changes. It's going to take a little time to sort out the intricacies of all of it, but I'll be announcing it hopefully shortly here and getting the ball rolling and all that stuff. So just trying to fight the good fight, trying to make it reasonable and put out good quality content for all you guys and everything else. So I also fucking hate that word content creators, and saying content, that it's so gay. So gay. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, and if you want to leave me a review in Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast listening device you're on. Oh my God, hiccups. Son of a bitch. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to leave a review, greatly appreciate it. I love reading them, all that stuff. So love interacting with you guys. Love hearing back from you guys. And like always, I just hope everyone stays safe out there. And I guess stay in the fight the good fight. Don't cede any more territory in this battle for our rights. That's really the end of that story. So, all right, take care.